Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another review. This is going to be, I guess you would say, the continuation of the Hannibal Lector movie reviews that I'm going to be doing. And in case you're wondering, I already reviewed Manhunter, which I pre-recorded. I just want to get that up. I'm going to get that up as soon as I can. So, I already did a review of Manhunter, so you'll be seeing that very soon. So, of course, this is the continuation, like I said, of the Hannibal Lecter films. And, of course, you can tell by this title, this review is going to be on the one that probably everybody talks about, and probably the most well-known Hannibal Lecter film, and that would be The Silence of the Lambs, which came out in 1991. Directed by Jonathan Demme, who I think is no longer with us anymore, which is too bad. Rest in peace, Jonathan Demme. But before I get on to like the cast and the plot and all that stuff, in case you guys are wondering, I'm only reviewing from Manhunter to Red Dragon. To be honest, I'm not going to review Hannibal Rising. You know, I've seen it before, and to be honest, I was not a fan of Hannibal Rising. I just don't want to waste my time watching it again because I know I didn't like it. So, you know, in case anybody just wonders, I'm not reviewing Hannibal Rising. I don't like the movie. I'm just fine with reviewing Manhunter to Red Dragon, and that's it. And I never watched the Hannibal TV series. I just never got into it. Didn't pique my interest. So there you go. So, anyways, you get on to The Silence of the Lambs. Once again, came out in 1991. Won a lot of Oscars. Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Picture. It pretty much swept out a lot of Oscar nominations, pretty much. And I think it was one of the... People say... I know like on the trivia and all that stuff, like I think on Wikipedia, they say like, this is like one of the second, like the first like horror film to be nominated for Oscars since The Exorcist. To be honest, it's got horror elements in it because it deals with, you know, Hannibal Lecter, who's a cannibal, and all that stuff. But it's more of a thriller, like thriller mystery, not really with horror elements, but it's not like a full-fledged horror movie. It's more of a mystery thriller kind of like movie. So, anyways, and of course, like, it's hard for me to review this film when everybody knows the plot of this film. I mean, the film speaks for itself with all these Oscar nominations. You have Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. You have Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. And other characters, you have Scott Glenn as one of the guys who's training Jodie Foster. Said, hey, you want some training? And also you have Anthony Held, who is the head of the facility where Hannibal Lecter is being held at. And on top of that, too, you have some cameos in the film. But you have George Romero in a cameo. Even Charles Napier from Rambo 2 and all that stuff. He's in it in a little role and a small appearance. And Frankie Faison, of course, as the Barney character, who even played in Manhunter as a cop, like a really small role in Manhunter. So he's had a part in almost all the Hannibal Lecter movies, which I think is interesting. But, I mean, the plot speaks for itself. You have Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling, who's trying to track down this killer known as Buffalo Bill. And, of course, Ted Levine plays Buffalo Bill. You know, Ted Levine in this film is fantastic. Probably, if not one of the popular Ted Levine performances, probably his most well-known performance, Ted Levine. I'm a huge fan of Ted Levine as an actor. I enjoyed him in The Mangler. He was in the Hills Have Eyes remake. He was in Heat, which he worked with Michael Mann in Heat, which I think is really cool. I'm trying to think what else Ted Levine was in. He's in so many movies. Evolution. He was in he was in Evolution with David Duchovny, Orlando Jones. I mean, Ted Levine, and of course, I was blank on this one. Of course, he was the voice of the trucker in Joyride. You know, Candy Cane. You know, that's Ted Levine. Ted Levine is such a legend, and this is without a doubt one of my favorite roles from him as Buffalo Bill. Very interesting choice for a villain. And of course, who can't forget Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, respectively. I mean, Anthony Hopkins was great as Hannibal Lecter. Jodie Foster does a great job as Clarice Starling. And it's very well directed, fantastic music. It went at a really good pace, didn't feel slow. It's very competently directed by Jonathan Demme, and the whole thing at the very end, the whole finale at the very end is awesome. Between Jodie Foster and we'll probably get into that. One of the creepier scenes of the movie is when you see Charles Napier's character who's hung on these bars like an angel, and it's like really creepy scene. Like, oh wow, a lot of creepy images in the film as well. And of course, the whole thing at the very end, when it's between Jodie Foster and Ted Levine, is really good. It filmed in like a night vision kind of like way, and she is able to hear the click of the gun, and she turns around and gets him and finishes him off. I always love that in the finale, and like I said before, it's really hard for me to review a movie that like everybody knows about. Like, it's such a well-known movie, won a lot of Oscars. It was based on a novel. The cast, I mean, the film really does speak for itself. It's a very popular film. It was a ginormous hit when it came out. I think the budget was around like $19 million, and it made over $200 million worldwide. So it was a very, very big box office success, and it deserves every bit of it. All the Oscars it got. I mean, it's shot really, really well. The performances were really well done. The music's really good. I mean, Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, Ted Levine. I mean, this is such a fantastic cast, and I enjoy all these actors in other movies as well. I mean, Scott Glenn, I'm a big fan of Scott Glenn from Backdraft, among other stuff. Jodie Foster from Panic Room, and The Accused, The Brave One. I mean, love Jodie Foster in a lot of other movies. Anthony Hopkins the same way. Ted Levine. I'm not going to say much more about the film. It's really hard for me, like I said, to review a film that everybody knows about and adores pretty much. It's a really, really well done film. But still, to me, though, I still think Manhunter is my favorite Hannibal Lecter film because I've watched Manhunter the most. I don't know what it is. I mean, Manhunter has like that intensity and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know what it is. I would definitely put Silence of the Lambs at number 2, but I still prefer Manhunter. That's just me, though. But I'm not going to say much more about the Silence of the Lambs. Like I said, it's a hard review for me to do because it's such a well-known film, but it's acted very, very well, great music, directed very, very well, and overall, it's a classic film that if you haven't seen it yet, you're definitely missing out. If you enjoy mystery, kind of like thriller films, I think this is one that's up your alley if you haven't seen it. But I mean, who hasn't seen this movie? But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching my review of The Silence of the Lambs, and thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.